Hello again. Now, Little Willie, Blockbuster and Ballroom Blitz are just a few of the songs that kept glam rock supergroup The Sweet at the top of the hit parade during the 1970s. They split up in 1980 to follow their own careers, but for lead singer and heartthrob Brian Connolly, this was quite a difficult time actually. He turned to drink and suffered an amazing 12 heart attacks. But he's back, he's with us, he's well, he's singing with Brian Connolly's Sweet, and he's going to perform for us a Sweet classic, Fox on the Run. Do join us, old boy. Well, you sounded in fine voice, but you've been through the mill, haven't you? I mean, I've never heard of anybody having 12 heart attacks. Were they all at the same time?
Well, consecutively, yes. One after the other over a period of about 7 months, I think.
Right. I mean, do you remember them all?
No, I don't remember any of them. I did regain consciousness between them, so they tell me. But most of the time my mind's a blank.
Right. And did they say what had caused them? Or was it a genetic problem?
Well, no, it was a combination. For one reason and another, you know, I was drinking too much. And the drink with the, at the time I was prescribed retention tablets that were a bit too strong for me, and the combination caused the cardiacs.
Right. I mean, funnily enough, you hadn't particularly had a drink problem earlier on in your career, had you? I mean, you didn't drink excessively then?
No.
So was it after Sweet split up then that you...
Yeah, it was to do with Sweet, really, because, you know, I got labelled as being a drinker towards the latter end of Sweet, and that wasn't true. You know, and at the time I left Sweet, I wasn't drinking at all. And the press in general and people in general, you know, put it down to, and I kept hearing it and I kept reading it, you know, that I'd been drinking and I was over the top with drink. So I thought, well, if I can't beat them, join them. I did.
So you did with a vengeance.
I didn't intend to go that far, but,
yes.
you know.
Yes. I mean, how bad was it sort of at your worst, do you think?
Well, it was only for about 2.5 years. Obviously, my metabolism wouldn't take it, but it was bad. It was bad.
What was your poison? Was it spirits or...?
Yes, it was spirits, because I'd never drunk spirits before. You know, I was a beer drinker. On the odd occasion I had a drink, it was only beer. But at the latter end, yes, it was spirits, and I was, I suppose, beginning to depend on it. I was relying on it as a lifestyle. And it was wrong, you know. In a way, the cardiacs probably, I hate to say it, did me a favour, but
so that was
I don't know if I would have had the willpower that because...
so that you stopped after you'd had the heart
Well, after the cardiacs, I never touched a drop, and people say to me, oh, you must have had, you know, tremendous willpower. Well, it wasn't just willpower, it was fear. You know, it was fright. Having known about the cardiacs and been told by specialists how bad I was and how lucky I was, I think the fear, more than as much as the willpower, stopped me from ever touching it again.
I mean, we can't help noticing that you still shake slightly. Is that a result of...
No, that isn't.
Because people must think, oh, you've been on the bottle again.
No, that came years later. Yeah, that's what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
But that came years later. I had it came about 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, I was back after the cardiacs playing football regularly for, well, showbiz teams and things. And I was working pretty, you know, solidly about 6 years ago, and I got pneumonia, and septicemia set into me as well. And I healed from that, you know, I got the okay. I went home from hospital, and I noticed I was shaking, I was like a quiver. And it's been a problem ever since.
It doesn't stop you singing all right, though, does it? I mean, that's the extraordinary thing. I mean, you sound
at all, and it doesn't bother me on stage at all.
Is that right? You stop on stage then?
Yes. I think it's for the, because I thought it was psychological as well, but apparently it's not. But it seems to be when I'm thinking about it, it's worse, or when if I notice anybody's looking at me, you know, I'm aware, and I seem to be more tensed up, so it gets worse. So I thought that you know, part of it was psychological. Yeah. But apparently not.
So you got the new reformed...
It's a spinal thing, I think.
Right. You got the new reformed band and everything, and the new CD.
Yeah, that's the current CD. That's the one that's
right
out at the moment.
Can I ask you something? There's sort of, it's quite a complicated family thing you have, isn't it? Because I mean, you grew up as the brother of Mark McManus, who tragically died recently, the star of Taggart.
Well, yeah, I belonged to. Well, I was fostered by the McManus family.
But you didn't know it when you were a kid,
No, I didn't know anything till I was 18. So to me, the brothers, the sisters, the aunts, the uncles, you know, everybody was family. I didn't know anything until I was 18.
Because people say, oh gosh, you do look like him, there's a resemblance, but you...
Yeah, well, I suppose there is a possibility, because I only have, I mean, I'm definitely a Connolly because I have proof of my mother.
But you don't, you're not sure who your dad is.
Connolly.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have proof of my father, no. So I suppose somewhere along the line there could have been some, I don't know, because nobody ever stopped to tell me, nobody ever, I went back after, What actually happened was I received a letter from the welfare department saying that they'd like to see me. Phone up and make an appointment. I went in, and they said, "Do you know anything about it?" I said, "No." I thought they had the wrong person. They said, "Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not a McManus, you're a Connolly."
Well, you've had a hell of a lot to deal with one way or another, but you are back, Brian, and in fine voice.
It ain't been that bad.
I know, yeah. No, it's not all been trage, for goodness sake.
Good times.
No, I know. Well, look, very good to see you again. And as I say, all the old Sweet classics and a few new tracks are on their new CD, which is called Let's Go. Yeah, stay with us after the break. Gardening guru David Hurrian and style expert Amanda Cross will be sprucing up your Christmas tree. We're also going to be catching up with the brassy Aveline from Bread, alias actress Melanie Hill, after this.
To the pop world, but only to the sound of breaking glass.